Yeah, man, we got to introduce JoJo to judo because she had never been put in a position where somebody would headlock her.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what that was. And I was told not to scream and holler and say nothing. And Jana's sitting next to me. I said, she's trying to headlock her. She's trying to headlock her. And then she grapevine Joe's arm and got her head sideways and then threw her weight down toward the ground and headlocked Joe to the ground and then pinned her. And I said,
Lock me back. And you know why it's gotten me back? Because it's a customized plan, what to eat and why. You'll drop the weight and the cravings for junk food, no intense exercise, accountability and support with a nutritionist, healthy food delivered to you at no extra cost. Schedule your consultation call today. Visit myphweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. Be healthy again, PhD weight loss.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. When you apply to University of Maryland Global Campus by February 12th, you'll pay no application fee. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook 'em.
Well, good news. We had an accident that just got cleared out on 35 southbound at FM 1431. Also disabled vehicle blocking the right lane at 290 eastbound at Highway 71. Also earlier, 71 eastbound at US 183, we had a disabled vehicle that since has been cleared out. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Get great savings on family favorites throughout the store at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs for only $1.97 per pound. Plus, 16-count freshly baked cookies in the bakery. Or buy one package, get one free.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Introducing Love Austin. Professional volleyball like you have never seen it before. You saw them on silver in Paris this summer. Now you can see them playing for the first time on American soil. Love Austin Volleyball will feature some of the best players in the world, including two-time Olympic medalist Chiaka Abagu. Get ready for First Serve on January 15th at the HEB Center. Visit lovb.com for tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
I'm John Walzak, host of the new podcast, Missing in Arizona.
And I'm Robert Fisher, one of the most wanted men in the world.
We cloned his voice using AI. In 2001,
police say I killed my family.
3 dead bodies, 2 were children.
He slit the throat of all of them.
First mom, then the kids.
And rigged my house to explode.
in a quiet suburb,
This is the Beverly Hills of the valley.
My house just exploded and ignited on fire.
Before escaping into the wilderness.
Leading police on a massive manhunt in rugged terrain.
There was sleet and hail and snow coming down.
It was the biggest manhunt in Arizona history.
They found my wife's SUV.
Within 50 feet was a cave.
He could be buried under rockfall, and you cut a skeleton leaning up against the wall.
And my dog flew.
All I could think of is seeing the sniper me out of some tree.
But not me.
Police believe he is alive and hiding somewhere.
Can you disappear and change your name and work for cash? Yeah, you can.
Fisher is still very much a priority with the FBI. He's on the 10 most wanted list.
listen to Missing in Arizona.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KVET AM Austin, AM 1300 The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Harge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Leander, and Silsbee, Texas,
Tampa, Florida, and of course, we can't forget about Manor or wherever you may be listening. This is a Longhorns Monday, but it's also a Black Monday edition of the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. It's Black Monday in the NFL as the regular season has come to an end. Who is your MVP? Texas and Ohio State have started preparations for the Cotton Bowl. We will have Rodney Terry of the Texas basketball team joining us at 7:34. The Texas women get another dub in the SEC. And, of course, we have the world's strongest take. I am your host, Mike Harbaugh Harge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and is recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And of course, we've got our guy Khalil holding it down behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. And if you want to voice your opinion, and we hope that you do, all you have to do is leave us a message using that talkback feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. We'll receive your message instantly, and of course, we'll play it if it's good enough. But I want to get into this conversation right now because it is Black Monday. There is a lot of coaching changes that are going to happen. The Gerard Mayo, unfortunate situation. We'll talk about him in the second hour when we get into our NFL talk. But there's a lot of coaches that will be looking for a job. One of the coaches that was mentioned was our coach, Coach Steve Sarkisian. No. What I mean by him looking for another job, people in the NFL have been looking for Coach Sark and thinking that he may get some phone calls to get back into the NFL. Right now, Coach Sark has got his mind on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he left us with his opening statement yesterday.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, first of all, it's an honor to represent the Southeastern Conference in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. This game has been one that notorious for great games, great teams over the years. Obviously, this being the semifinal game of the college football playoff, it's definitely an honor to be part of this. It's a heck of an opponent in Ohio State. The job that Coach Day has done with that team, their staff, they're playing really good football right now. We know it's going to be a heck of a challenge. But looking forward to the opportunity.
I know that this is a big opportunity for the Texas Longhorns. Think about this. When we talked about the season coming up, they were a team that we thought had a chance to make a run. And out of all the teams that have made a run, Texas is the only team that got back into the playoffs from last year's playoff and but the team is back into the Final Four after an expanded playoff. Think about that. Not only did they get back in, they're in the Final Four, but they're the only team to get into the playoff that was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Texas moved into the situation of Alabama, Georgia, that had perennial runs for the last 5 to 6 years. Whether they won it, they lost in the championship game, they lost in the playoff, whatever it was, that it was that run. That's where Texas is right now.
Yeah.
And like when we see all of the teams that didn't make it, like Washington, that Michigan, Texas was able to beat Michigan this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like Texas is still improving and becoming that franchise that every year is championship or bust.
Well, the one thing that Texas needs to do is control Ohio State and their fast starts. And Coach Sark was asked about, hey, they start fast, and what are you going to do to try to slow that down?
It's probably credit to their coaching staff, first of all, game planning, putting together a nice plan on offense, defense, and special teams, instilling that plan to the players, and the players playing with confidence. I think that's the one thing that jumps out when you watch it, is how confidently they're playing. They're definitely calling it aggressively, but the execution is at a really high level. So that's what jumps out at us.
And you start to think about how they get to that point, because the biggest question for Texas fans and what they've been asking about has been also saying, all right, what can we do to get this thing going to the point that we start fast? Texas came out last week, scored on the first 2 plays, got a touchdown, looked like everything was going to be great. Well, they struggled in the second half making the adjustments, and the other teams did make those adjustments. So that has been one of the questions for the University of Texas.
They've got to stop resting on their laurels. And that's usually what coming out of halftime is. A lot of teams Texas played, they've been up 10 or they've had leads at halftime.
Right.
So like you have to go out, hey guys, this is a whole new game.
Yeah.
This next half, we got to play it just like maybe Sark should go to a script like he does in the first quarter.
He does have a script. You mean in the second half? Yeah.
In the second half, maybe they should just have a script like they do in the first half, because I feel like that they get lackadaisical with the calling, and they play not to lose.
Yeah, you got
to keep the pedal down.
All gas, no brakes.
Yeah, they've been pumping the brakes in the second half.
Yeah, but one of the teams that has been Ohio State, and their passing game has been on point. So he was asked about, what do you got to do to help stop this Ohio State passing game?
Well, I think we've got to be really good at the line of scrimmage against the run and the pass. That Ohio State's similar to us that way. When they have balance, they're very difficult. And so got to be good against the run. We got to try to, affect him in the pocket. And we need to disrupt timing in the back end. We need to disguise our coverage as well. We need to be sticky in coverage. We need to get hands on footballs. We need to make throwing lanes difficult. We need to get our hands up at the line of scrimmage. So there's a lot of factors to that. Not an easy task, I'll say that, but one that I think is going to be necessary if we want to be successful.
Well, here's the other thing. What Coach Sark is talking about, he's talking about Will Howard. And Sark remembers playing against Will Howard, but hey, just like anything else, some people improve.
Yeah, I'd say the first thing is he's a much better athlete than people probably give him credit for. He snapped off about a 70-yard touchdown run against us a few years ago. He has good speed. He's got great poise and composure in the pocket. You can tell he's very bright. The system they ran at Kansas State put a lot on the quarterback, and knowing Coach Kelly and Coach Day and what they do. So him managing, the offenses that way. So he's got intelligence, he's got athletic ability, and then his ability to throw a catchable ball. I've seen that now for a few years. He throws passes where they need to be thrown, and guys make plays for him. And his poise and composure in critical moments is something that has been very impressive as well.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, man, that Texas has played against, but you got to make some adjustments, and you got to make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket.
Pressure.
Yeah.
And not outside pressure. I'm talking about that inside pressure. Texas defense is so fast. that you want the pressure to be inside out because everybody will run you down. If you allow him to stand back there and get the ball off in rhythm, their wide receiver core, I would have to say, is probably the best in the country.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the best that Texas has seen all year. No doubt about that. I have no doubt about that. This receiving core will be the best receiving core that Texas has seen all season long.
And if you're allowed a 4-man rush and you can allocate a linebacker to coverage, then that just helps you even more with a defense that's already pretty damn good in the secondary.
Yeah.
So Texas is the emphasis has got to be exactly what Coach Sark said. Got to get great defensive line play.
You have to. You have to be able to be aggressive to the point that these guys got to be creative up front. It's got to be one of those situations where the movement has to be synchronized, where everybody's on the same plan. But here's the biggest thing for me. They can run the football. Ohio State has run the football. So you can't get out of character at what you are. It's like us. It's like Texas. They set up plays. They take their shots downfield. But it's those guys like a Ryan Smith, for example. He can take a short pass and make it a big pass. You know, there was a question being asked, I think it was Kurt Balls yesterday, and we'll get all into that a little bit more. But it was asked about being able to guard somebody that's that big, you know, because they got big guys. And Jade was like, I mean, you got to go play.
Yeah.
Still, and that's where I think Sark is too, is like, look, guys, we've been favored in a lot of games. We're an underdog now. We don't like being an underdog, but we still got to go out there and play the game, whether we're favored or not.
Right.
At the end of the day, you got to go out there and ball. And I believe that that's the mindset.
Accept the challenge.
I think people are tired of the buildup and having to answer those questions because of the way that reporters ask the questions. They want to go play and then let the chips fall where they may. We're just getting started on a big, big week here at the morning kickoff as we get ready to talk more about this huge matchup. When we come back, we'll have more conversations and we'll hear from Ohio State and what their thoughts are on this University of Texas football team. Right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook 'em.
Well, on this chilly Monday morning, we do have a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane on 290 eastbound at Highway 71, about a 3-minute delay. Good news, though, that accident did clear out on 35 southbound at FM 1431. Also, that other disabled vehicle did clear out, too, on 71 eastbound at US 183. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Hey, Texas, I want to talk about the wonderful folks over at Covert Chevy and Hutto. At Covert Chevy and Hutto, they have the specials you are looking for. How about a 2024 Silverado 1500 for $15,000 off of MSRP, or a 2024 Chevy Tahoe for $8,000 off of MSRP with no payments for 120 days. See dealer for details. The Coverts have been doing business since 1909, and they love being a part of the communities that they serve. Head on over to covertchevyhutto.com or swing by 1200 US 79 in Hutto, Texas. Covert Chevy and Hutto, where tradition meets the open road. Together, let's drive.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Austin, Texas.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
The Home Depot's new supply house is built for one job, to deliver yours. No cart, all flatbed. And more than a store, our supply house comes to you. Get the whole job delivered as soon as next day from the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
What's up, everybody? Adnan Burke here to tell you about a new podcast. It's NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here, and after playing 700 NHL games, I got a lot of dirty laundry to air out.
Each week we'll get together to chat about the sport that we love.
But we're not just going to be talking hockey, folks. We're talking movies. We're talking TV, food, and Adnan's favorite, wrestling. It's all on Le Table.
Listen to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers and start listening.
It's the Craig Way Show with Craig Way and Cameron Parker. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
To the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Next segment, we'll hear from Rodney Terry talking about men's basketball. They have a huge week after that defeat against Texas A&M. They have big games coming up this week, and we're going to talk to him all about it. Excuse me. But I want y'all to hear from some of the Ohio State players. The Ohio State Buckeyes will be taking on the Texas Longhorns this Friday and at the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas, 6:30 kickoff, big time matchup. Obviously, we talked about the helmets and how important you sit back and you look at these helmets and what they believe in. And then you got to get out there and just play. And we got a chance to talk to a couple of the players, and we asked them, what are your thoughts on Quinn Ewers and the expectations? We also got a chance to ask Caleb Downs, the safety who played at Alabama, played against Texas, and now he's playing for Ohio State. And he was asked, Caleb, what are your thoughts on the Texas Longhorns?
Defense and all the shifts and motions. You have to make sure you're on the same page in order to play a really sound and complete game. And they've done a great job this year, and it's let them get to this point.
And it was also asked about what he thought about Quinn Ewers and what he looks like at the quarterback position.
Really smart quarterback, knows how to operate their offense. puts the ball in the right places. And then Coach Sarkisian does a great job putting him in positions to win.
And those are the things that other people see. Like when other people get a chance to watch the film, they see the things that Quinn does. A lot of folks still hating. I still don't get it. You're in the semifinal matchup. You got the quarterback that was the only quarterback to be in the semifinals last year. He's leading his team in a new conference, in an expanded version, into the college football semifinals against a team that just last week, 2 weeks ago, they were talking about trying to get Ryan Day fired.
Right.
It's amazing how the pendulum always seemed to swing in different directions.
It's the same thing with Quinn, like, beating Arkansas, beating A&M, beating Oklahoma, all in the same year.
Making big throws this past week.
Man, making throws that, okay, it's do or die.
It literally was do or die. It was 4th and 13.
And he did it twice in consecutive series.
Yeah.
Like, guys, accidents don't happen like that. That's purposeful. And it was good to see Quinn, be able to have that shine and shut up a lot of the haters at that moment.
Yeah, it is. We have some really good football games that are going to be happening, obviously, with the Texas Longhorns and Ohio State Buckeyes. And their defensive lineman or linebacker was asked about Quinn Ewers as well and what he sees from Quinn.
I would say the capability of early on in the game, him getting his routine, like some of those routine throws, they run the ball, and then it's play action shot, 50 yards downfield, things like that. I think he does a super good job of that. Being able to sell the play action, pull the safeties up, and then hit you downfield with a 60-yard bomb, thing like that. So I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me on film. He's a super talented quarterback, super talented arm talent. He can get the ball out in many different ways. But, that's probably how I put it in a nutshell. He's just a super talented player. I mean, he can make any throw on the field. Like you said, he can move around a little bit. I don't think people respect that enough, his legs. He can move around and extend the plays and hurt you downfield.
Sometimes you got to make sure you're moving around enough to get to a point of where you can make a play to extend plays. That's the thing that I'm talking about is like, I need to see you extend plays. Look downfield, make an extra run, extend drives by getting first downs. And we got a chance to see Quinn roll out. I mean, it took him a minute to get to the end zone because we were all yelling, run it,
run it,
run it. But he ended up doing the right thing and went out there and made some plays. And then again, those last 3 throws that he made, the touchdown on 4th down, the other touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and then the one to Gunnar Helm was impressive.
Yeah, it was. And I like to see him move the pocket right to left some too and do some sprint options, some roll out, be able to throw some guys open because Quinn can do that. He's very accurate. We talked about them playing here and how he was able to hit Helm. And the pass that he threw at Oklahoma to Golden, where he rolled out to his right and threw a laser beam to the pylon.
Yep.
Like, I want to see more of that because it's hard to defend. It's just hard. They don't know that that's where you're going when you're throwing to a spot. Quinn does that really well.
Right.
And I just want to see him do more of the things that he do well, not just, what he needs to do to set people up.
Well, like we've talked about before, when you start looking at these matchups and finding the strengths and the weaknesses, this is where it is right now. Now you're playing like athletes.
Right.
When you get to this point,
everybody's good.
Everybody is good.
Everybody.
Now it's more about the physical ability for you to beat the man in front of you. If you can't beat that man in front of you and he gets the best of you, it disrupts the entire game plan and the entire flow. 2 weeks ago, Ohio State was dead in the water. People were losing their mind. They weren't scoring points. They weren't doing the things that they needed to do. Ryan Day was a terrible coach. You need to get rid of him. And now all of a sudden they come out, they light it up. He's made some decisions. And I was asked this question the other day. and this is something that I'll ask you. They were saying Ryan Day ended up giving up the play calling duties. He ended up giving them up. He was the play caller for a long time. They brought in Chip Kelly, and somebody said, do you think Sark should give up the play calling abilities? And I was like, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he should, because this is who he is. This is what he does. And I've been on record before, like when Tom Herman was trying to not call plays, I'm like, that's how you got here. Like, you were a good play caller. Now you want to give it up, and now your play caller is not the same. Same thing, Lincoln Riley. All these great offensive-minded coaches that should they have other people in their ear to give it to them. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Sometimes you have tendencies. You build up tendencies. They know, okay, he likes this on this down and distance. Like, watch out for this.
Yeah.
And they scheme for certain looks. Every now and then,
yep.
Maybe coming out of halftime, I would go to somebody else
and see what happens.
And say, hey, give them a taste of this or what you want to do, just to throw them off. And then once they start biting on that, I'll go back to my deal. Unless you're just killing and keep that going.
Right. I mean, sometimes you
throw them a wrinkle.
You have to check it out and see what truly happens in those moments. And I was just curious to it because it was posed to me, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that in that particular situation. But I do want to talk about this. And Caleb Downs was asked about what he saw from these Texas wide receivers and what is his expectation. Because this dude plays in the box. He plays free. He can do it all. He's an unbelievable athlete. But what does he see with these Texas wide receivers?
Good athletes. I played with Isaiah Bond last year. He was a really great receiver, a lot of speed. And then all the receivers have made a lot of plays. So, I mean, everybody has to be on their P's and Q's if we're going to stop them and do a really good job.
And we'll see what happens there. I want to get into this conversation real quick, Mark, because there's a lot that is going to be going on throughout our show. And it's important to know that the NFL has already made some changes. They have gotten rid of the Jaguars have fired Doug Peterson.
Whoa.
Doug Peterson is no longer the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That has just broken. I believe that the Chicago Bears will now be looking for a head coach as well. Clarence Hill just said, he said 5 NFL jobs are officially open now. The Jets, the Bears, the Patriots, the Saints, and now the Jaguars. And now the question is, who's next? Will somebody from the Raiders, Antonio Pierce, be let go? Will Mike McCarthy be let go? We shall see. But coming up next, we have the head coach of the Texas men's basketball team, Rodney Terry, joining us to talk about what happened in College Station and also preview the next 2 games that are going to be some doozies. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hug 'em.
Well, on this chilly Monday morning, we do have a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane on 290 eastbound at Highway 71, about a 3-minute delay. Good news, though, that accident did clear out on 35 southbound at FM 1431. Also, that other disabled vehicle did clear out, too, on 71 eastbound at US 183. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready? With your busy life, Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling the old one. It's simple. Orchard gives you the equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. No more rushing out for showings and constant cleaning because Orchard sells your home after you get settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money. So sell your home for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles at Orchard. Start with your free home evaluation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
The Lions clinched the number 1 seed in the NFC for the first time in franchise history. The Patriots fired head coach Gerard Mayo after 1 year. In the NFL season finale Sunday, Spurs, they'll visit the Bulls tonight, look to improve to 19-17. Cowboys fell to the Commanders at home to end their season 7-10. They hold the 12th pick in the draft. And the Texans beat the Titans on the road. Now they have a playoff home game against the Chargers Sunday. I'm Rob Bushka.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Russell Wilson here with Play 60, United Way in the NFL, helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids.
To get involved, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
To the morning kickoff right here on AM. Coach Terry call. We were looking at some of the moves that are being made in NFL as we hit the break. We were talking about the firing of Doug Peterson. It has been reported by Diana Rossini. He has been let go. Cliff Falcon has stayed with the squad as of right now. And we continue to have these conversations about the moves and shaking of the NFL. Who's responsible for each move? Who should be the one that keeps a job, not keep a job? It is still kind of crazy when you sit back and you think about all the moves that are made. I want to go to one move that was made, and that was the one against the Panthers and Bryce Young. Remember at one point when they thought Bryce Young was done with the NFL because he wasn't getting it done all these things are happening. Since Bryce Young was benched and got his job back, things changed for that.
Yeah, he's been playing.
A bunch of moves, did some amazing things, and he continues to discredit all the things that other people have said multiple times. It is just one of those deals that we continue to look at and we say, why is this happening? What is going on? Why is this going on? And it's just one of those things that we continue to look at. But as we continue to wait for Coach Terry to give him, Mark, when you look at these teams and what's going on with the teams, you see these different moves and shakes at the top. And it is just one of those things that we continue to try to figure out.
You know, I think that a lot of the reason that football and basketball are in the states that they're in is because of all the movement.
Yeah.
Like, you got to let stuff. You ever make Jell-O?
No, I don't ever really.
You never made Jell-O before?
I mean, the kids make Jell-O. I don't make the Jell-O. But
okay,
yeah.
you just eat it.
Yeah.
You got to let it set up.
Yeah.
I mean, you mix it and, you put it in the refrigerator. Like, you got to let it set.
You got to let it set for a little bit.
These teams are not allowing their teams to set.
Right.
I mean, we talked about Detroit. Detroit is one of the few teams that was able to do it.
Yeah.
And when you have that much, when you have continuity,
yeah,
like Detroit has, and you have continuity like the Boston, let's go to basketball. Put it in basketball terms. The Celtics, they signed everybody that won the championship back to that another year. Even if they went over the price point and had to pay fines. Why? Because they had everything they needed.
Yep.
Even if it was expensive. We're going to keep what we got and we're going to win again. And I really do feel like that Boston at the end will have a chance to win it again.
You believe that?
I truly believe it. I know the Knicks are going to give them a run.
Yeah.
I know that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard are going to be able to give them a run.
Joining us now. I'm sorry about that. We got Coach Terry on the phone.
Sorry we can get Coach Terry. Let's go.
Sorry about that, Coach.
No worries. Good morning, you guys. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Coach.
You too. Let's get right into it. The game did not go the way that you wanted to at Reed Arena as the Texas Longhorns come up a little bit short, 80-20 against Texas A&M, and it was a tale pretty much of two halves. The first half, you guys were right there and went to halftime. It was 37-37, and then in the second half, they kind of pulled away. What do you accredit that to?
Well, I thought we came out and we did a great job in the first half. We had great ball movement. We had 9 assists in the first half. Did a great job of taking care of the basketball. I thought we did a great job of matching their physicality in the first half. We only gave up 3 offensive rebounds. I thought in the second half we came out and, we just didn't come out with the kind of pop news we needed to start the half off. And we let our offense kind of affect our defense. I mean, we got away from being physical on the glass and we had some open looks that didn't go down for us. But those guys, give them credit. They came down, they put their heads down, and they attacked the paint and did a great job of getting to the foul line early to start the half.
Coach, it's always good to hear from you. What is the next move? Like, is there something that you have planned that's something that didn't happen that y'all drew up in practice, or is it, you go back to the drawing board?
No, I think again, Mark, this is going to be an 18-game slate here, and it's going to be, day to day, game to game. I mean, we're playing the best league in the country. I think again, you're only going to have these wins with you or losses with you for one night, and you got to move on to the next great challenge ahead of you. I thought we did some really good things in the game. I thought there's some things that we continue to have to improve on in terms of just, working the game. I mean, 7 minutes to go. It's still anybody's game. It's a possession game. So, just like with any journey, with any team, I think you're going to have to continue to see growth in learning to work the game for 40 minutes.
We're talking to men's basketball coach Rodney Terry as they embark on a tough stretch here in the SEC. We knew that it was not going to be easy going into the SEC. Your next opponent is the Auburn Tigers, led by Bruce Pearl, and then you follow that up with Coach Rick Barnes coming here on the 11th. What is it that you've seen on Auburn that you need to be aware of, or you would like for the people to know about Auburn?
Well, probably the most talented team I've seen on tape to this point that we played. They put so much pressure on you in terms of scoring the basketball. They're averaging almost 90 points a game out of 88 points a game. And, 4 out of their top 5 guys that start the ball game all can shoot the basketball at a very high level. So really good shooting team, really good three-point shooting team. They make 10 threes a game. They're pretty good offensive rebounding team. They get about 12 offensive rebounds a game, and they play at a fast pace. So you gotta do a great job of getting back in transition, locating shooters, and sitting down and trying to go up these guys and not give them second chance opportunities. They also have a really good defense where they sit down and they go up pretty hard and try to make it difficult for you on the offensive end as well.
Coach, what do we got to do to get our big guys involved? I know Shedrick didn't have the game that he wished that he would have had. Like, what do we got to do to get him going?
Well, again, I think Cedric's one of those guys, probably one of our most unselfish players that we have on our team. I mean, he just wants to do whatever it takes to win, and he had 10 rebounds over in the game against A&M. We'll take that all day, every day. From his production, we would like to be a little bit more aggressive offensively. Yes, we love them to try to have a more of an offensive mind and want to score the basketball as well. But he's, Cade's one of those guys that again, I think is doing what we asked in terms of trying to be a star in his role. I thought Z came in and picked up a couple of quick fouls, and he too will continue to try to give us some physicality in there. And when he's in the ball game to give us some inside presence. I thought Art rebounded the basketball for us and just kind of give us a little bit more from an offensive standpoint. But, Jason Keat comes in and he's a guy that can stretch the floor and got some great looks in the game as well.
And he just got to find his rhythm. You guys are back on the court tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, at home, at the Mood. Everybody get out there and pack the Mood, right, Coach?
That's right. I mean, you don't get many opportunities where you have the number 2 team in the country coming in, and incredible opportunities for us that we're excited about. We need Longhorn Nation to get behind us and give us a lot of support. We're going to come in and we're going to try to compete as hard as we can against one of the top teams in the country.
Appreciate it, Coach, and we'll make sure we got that time figured out for you tomorrow. For next week.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, there he is. Coach Rodney Terry getting ready for one of the biggest matchups that they're going to have. Number 2 team coming in, followed by the number 1 team ranked in the nation. Back-to-back games at the Moody Center. When we come back, we'll close out hour number 1 and continue the conversation as the women's basketball team got a big dub right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show.
Life is Good by Joe Walsh.
Life's been good, but that's
Life's
close
been
enough
good
for
right.
Joe.
When I see that album cover, for some reason, he looks like Dale Earnhardt to me. With the mustache. Now, I have to see what he looks like in person.
Right.
Back when it was.
Trust me, if Dale Earnhardt were alive today, he would not look like Joe Walsh. There's not many people look like Joe Walsh how he looks today. Trust me.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook 'em.
Well, we have an accident blocking the right lane, 35 southbound at Tech Ridge Boulevard, a 7-minute delay. Good news, that accident did get cleared out on 35 southbound at FM 1431. And we do have a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane on 290 eastbound at Highway 71. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Want to win 2,000 times your money simply by watching football? With Better Picks, every play will have you on the edge of your seat, as game day just got 2,000 times more exciting. That's right, Better Picks has the highest multipliers in all of daily fantasy, letting you turn $1 into $2,000, $10 into $20,000, all the way up to $100,000 payouts. That's higher than all those other Pick'em fantasy apps.
And it's super simple to use. Just pick a few players, choose more or less on their stats, and follow along live.
Why would you use any other daily fantasy app when you can win 2,000 times your money only on Better Picks? Go to betterpicks.com, BETRpicks.com, or download Better on the app or Play Store and use promo code RADIO to experience the thrill of playing for up to 2,000 times your cash. Plus, new users get up to a $200 match on their first deposit. It's simply better with Better Picks.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, Texas, I want to talk about the wonderful folks over at Covert Chevy and Hutto. At Covert Chevy and Hutto, they have the specials you are looking for. How about a 2024 Silverado 1500 for $15,000 off of MSRP, or a 2024 Chevy Tahoe for $8,000 off of MSRP with no payments for 120 days. See dealer for details. The Coverts have been doing business since 1909, and they love being a part of the communities that they serve. Head on over to covertchevyhutto.com or swing by 1200 US 79 in Hutto, Texas. Covert Chevy and Hutto, where tradition meets the open road. Together, let's drive.
I love my presets.
This is the best app for radio. Look at how cool this looks.
It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand. Wow, it's got my favorite thing.
Lyrics.
Find out what everyone is talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
New year, new you. But wait, you got to have money skills to crush those new audacious goals you just made. The How to Money podcast is just what you need if you're feeling weighed down by debt or need some financial advice and inspiration.
That's right. We're best buds, and our show is all about giving you the information you need to succeed. For money advice without the judgment and jargon, listen to How to Money on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search How to Money and start listening.
At the Home Depot, it's our business to support yours. Partner with your go-to source for building your business. We can help you streamline your operations by supplying the whole job from start to finish. Any questions? Our Pro Desk is ready to answer the call with supply sourcing, custom orders, large equipment rentals, and more. Elevate your efficiency and take on more projects with the partner you can trust. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KDET AM Austin, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, an iHeart radio station and your home for the Horns. All the good stuff. Yeah.
Camps keeps you on top of pop culture.
Night Divides the Day, a long-awaited anthology about the Doors, is heading to shelves. The project, described as the ultimate account of the Doors, their incredible story, and their enduring legacy, features new interviews from Robbie Krieger and John Densmore and archival words from the late Jim Morrison and Ray Manzarek. Each full box set includes a signed copy of the book, various Doors memorabilia, and a vinyl single with rare demos of Hello, I Love You and Moonlight Drive. Coinciding with the 60th anniversary of the Doors' founding, Night Divides the Day is set for release in 2025.
All right.
And that's what's popping on Camps on iHeartRadio.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents The Craig Way Show. Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff. Good stuff by our coach Rodney Terry. They got a historic week of games coming up where it doesn't get any easier. Let's just say that it's going to be back of some tough ball games, and they're going to do everything they can to flip the script, I guess you would say. Also, another coach that gets a chance to stick around and stay in the front office is John Moore. Has decided the president of the New York Giants has decided to keep the general manager and the head coach. After a disappointing year, those guys are still in the same spot. It will be interesting to see how all this plays out in the next year or so. But as of right now, the Giants coaching staff and front office is still in place. It'll be interesting to see why and how that works out. Now we'll see who they end up drafting, and everybody's positioning themselves. As I said before, Doug Peterson is out. They had already got rid of Eberflus in Chicago. The Jets had already fired their coach, so there's some positions that are open. But one position that is not open, and that's the head coach of the Texas women's basketball team with Vic Schaefer. Vic Schaefer and his women's basketball team went out last night and got a big win at their home opener against Arkansas. Rory Harmon reached her 600th career assist, becoming only the second player in the University of Texas history to record 1,000 points and 600 assists as the Texas basketball team, number 5 ranked team, moves to 15-1 and 2-0 in the SEC. We just talked about Rodney Terry and what's going on with the men's basketball team as they went on the road against Texas A&M for their first road game in the SEC. They came up short, losing by 20. Well, Texas wins 90-56. Big time scoring, big time plays by all of the usual suspects. Justice Carlton, Jordan Lee. Jordan Lee is somebody that if you haven't went to go watch this Texas women's basketball team, you need to pay attention to what she's doing. You also need to see Justice Carlton and Aaliyah Moore. She's been around. She's done this for a while. But these young ladies have been able to play at a very, very elite level. And that is something about what Coach Vic Schaefer is always pushing. He really understands what it is about the team that each position needs, how they need to go about it, where they need to be at all times. And you start to look at what their defensive efficiencies are and how effective they are. Texas scored 32 points off of turnovers. They had 52 points in the paint. Those are the things that you continue to look at. And second chance points. Second chance points are when you miss a shot and you get a rebound and you get another opportunity to run it. They had 28 second chance points. Those are the types of ways that you're going to be able to compete for not only an SEC championship, but you'll put yourself in the conversation for a possible national championship. I mean, this was a game where Madison Booker was 1 of 9 of shooting and only scored 3 points in the game. But she did some things on defense. She was in foul trouble. But those are the types of moments that you look at this team and they have so much balance that it makes it difficult for people to defend them. They're so good. And they too are going to be challenged, but not like the Texas men's team. Not like the Texas men's team. Texas men's team is in a difficult stretch coming up. So it'll be interesting to watch that as well. Speaking of, I want to make sure that you get a chance to win. A chance to get a pair of tickets to go see Ghost August the 14th at the Moody Center. All you have to do is search on your iHeartRadio app, find AM 1300 The Zone, tap the red microphone, and leave the word Moody. Moody is the word of the day. And if you leave that, you'll enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets August the 14th at the Moody Center to go see Ghost. Be listening all week long for a chance to win. Also this afternoon on the Craig Way Show. By the way, have y'all talked to Craig lately? That dude has been on the grind. So make sure you check him out and let him tell you about his travels and what's been going on because it has been kind of crazy. But listen to the Craig Way Show with Cam Parker this afternoon. With you get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see the Deftones as well. I wanted to bring this up because we were talking about women's basketball and men's basketball and what's going on in college basketball. There's some really good basketball games that are being played all throughout the country, and there's some really solid basketball teams. And I know that we're in the middle of this big stretch where Texas is getting ready to take on Ohio State, and we are going to cover that all week long. You best believe it. You're going to hear from the players. You're going to hear from the coaches. And, of course, we're going to give you our takes. But we want you to know that we will be in Arlington this week. Come and hang out with us on Friday at Boomer Jacks. I'll give you all the details. We'll post it on our social medias. We will be at Boomer Jacks doing our pregame show from 3 to 5:30, and then we'll head over to the stadium to watch the Texas Longhorns take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also tomorrow be previewing Penn State and Notre Dame. These are two iconic colleges that will be playing each other for a chance to play for a national championship. And these are two teams that if you would have told me that both the Penn State and Notre Dame, after the beginning of the season, were going to be playing for a chance to play for a national championship, some people would have thought you were crazy because don't forget Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, and everybody was looking at Marcus Freeman as if he had three heads and was wondering what the heck is going on with this program. And now here they are with a chance to play in the national championship game. Coaches are being fired. There's a lot of games that are still being played. But guess what? We're going to continue the conversation. NFL. We'll have those conversations coming up next right here on a Longhorn Monday, Black Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with your busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling the old one. It's simple. Orchard gives you the equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. No more rushing out for showings and constant cleaning because Orchard sells your home after you get settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money. So sell your home for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles at Orchard. Start with your free home evaluation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
In today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
In the NFL, there's no margin for error. One mistake can change the outcome of a game. Science proves quality sleep can help boost reaction time, recovery time, overall athletic performance. As the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League, Sleep Number's mission is to provide players with data and insights to optimize their sleep for the ultimate competitive edge. And did you know 80% of NFL players have a Sleep Number smart bed? I've been partnering with Sleep Number since 2008. My Sleep Number setting is 75. And we're all unique in what we need from our beds. Plus, Sleep Number smart beds, the best beds for couples because you can individualize each side of the bed. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side of the bed. And now it's the lowest price of the season on the top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing for a limited time. Shop a Sleep Number store near you. Sleep Number, official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. See store or sleepnumber.com/Patrick for details.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Nava with KView. Want to stay updated on the local stories that matter to you? Download KView Plus and get breaking news, weather updates, and newscasts on demand. Free on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Start streaming today.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of hundreds of thousands of titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Go behind the crime scenes of one of England's most notorious modern murders. In the companion podcast to HBO Max's true crime drama, The Murders at White House Farm, you'll hear from those involved in the making of the series and the real-life events on which the drama is based.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KBET AM Austin, AM 1300 The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Harge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff, Longhorn Monday edition of the morning kickoff. In hour number 1, we broke down a lot of the Texas and Ohio State as they met with the media. It's a continued conversation that we're going to always have. We want to thank Coach Rodney Terry, and if you missed any part of the show, you can go back and listen to Coach Terry as he broke down Texas's loss to Texas A&M. And, of course, we talked about the Texas women going 2-0 to start off SEC play. But right now I want to get into this conversation because we also told you that it's a Black Monday edition of the morning kickoff. Therefore, this is the time that a lot of coaches start looking for new jobs. We've already mentioned Gerard Mayo and the possibility or him being let go, not even 15 minutes into the ball game. I mean, to the season being over, the reports came out that he was going to be replaced. And I'm a little pissed off at that one because it gives me shades of the Houston Texans when they brought in Lovie Smith and then they brought in the other coach and they just kept that rotation going instead of understanding that you take time to grow.
It's a process.
You can't just automatically think that this was going to be the quote unquote Patriot way just because you bring in a guy that played for the Patriots. Here's the biggest problem that I have with it all. You look at what Bill Belichick did the year before. They lost more games. And now he comes in, gets the dub, and he gets fired with a roster that was awful. The best thing that they did was go get Drake May. That's it. But you didn't put anything else around that.
No, you didn't. And they knew that they were going to struggle.
Yes.
And the thing is, Harge, I think that they had in mind that they wanted Vrabel anyway. And why not just go ahead and get him?
If you wanted Mark Vrabel, if you wanted him from the very from your process, and if that's where your heart truly is, what makes him different than Gerard Mayo? Because he's been a coach before. He grew up in the Patriots as well. Mayo was one of their best players.
Yeah.
Vrabel was one of their better players.
I think that Vrabel was like, well, I want to see this rookie campaign and how it plays out. And if you're still interested in me next year or the year after, then I'll come in.
If I'm him, I say no. If I'm him, I say no, because that organization has now become what others talk about the Dallas Cowboys. You look at what the 49ers have become. Yes, they dealt with a lot of injuries, but these are organizations that, well, for revisional history, they were the better ones. They were the better organizations for a long time. That's where the championships were. Things have changed drastically in the NFL. Kansas City has now become the class act. You look at what Detroit did. Think about Detroit. If they would have fired Dan Campbell after the first 2 seasons with him building his culture, they wouldn't be where they are right now.
And they thought about it. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I mean, because that's the way that people work. But it's like, is there anything like the Philadelphia 76ers where they talk about trust the process? Is the process done? Are we living, and I know we are living in this microwave society that expect things to happen immediately just because you're in the NFL? Teams struggle, man.
Yeah. And football is different than basketball. I mean, you're dealing with a 15-man roster, and you're dealing with where you only have 5 pieces on the floor at the same time. In football, the person that fits your system is usually not on your team. You have to wait for their contract to end, and then you got to build around them. So a coach is going to need at least 3 years just to kick the tires on the team that he takes the job for. And if you get a rookie quarterback, they always say, oh, well, that gives you a year grace because you get a rookie. Mayo didn't even get a year grace.
That's what I'm saying. Like it is utterly ridiculous when you sit and you think about how this business, and that's what it is. It's a business. We get it. How this business can flip coaches so fast. You know, we're talking about Gerard Mayo, but, you know, there's others that are dealing with it. Hell, Mike McCarthy in the situation in Dallas. He seems to be safe where people wanted his head.
I was one of them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we all have been there. But are you looking at the NFL, you look at the top people. You look at how they're run. They stay out the way. Robert Kraft has now – when does Robert Kraft start getting the Jerry Jones treatment? The reason why he's not is because in recent years, they were champions.
Right.
They were playing for Super Bowls. But since Tom Brady left, now you get rid of Bill Belichick, and now you're back in the pack again? But you blame this guy, Gerard Mayo, when you knew that this team was not built for that. Did you get rid of Bill in time so you could draft who you wanted to because probably Bill wasn't going to draft Drake May? Did you make this move because you needed to take control? If you're the owner, take control in that situation. But if you go back and look over the past few years, their draft has been crap. That's a good draft right there. This past year, that was a good draft for them.
Yeah, it was. And I feel like that this is one of those cases where the owner always wanted to kind of be the coach.
Or he wanted the limelight of it. He wanted to be the architect.
Right. He wanted to be up there where people were like, wow, what a brilliant move they made.
No.
And there was no Brady around to take the credit for that. There was no Belichick around to take the credit for that. But now he's also going to get the scrutiny.
Oh, it's definitely happening. It's definitely happening. So get over to AM 1300 The Zone on Twitter. I want to know which organization failed the most. Was it the New England Patriots with the situation there, or is it the New York Jets? The New York Jets organization that made a ton of changes within it. And now they are sitting in a spot that's not comfortable, number one. They're not in a good drafting spot. You start to look at all of these teams and you're like, okay, so what truly happened? Right now, the draft order, as of last night, the top 18 picks are Tennessee with the number 1 overall pick, Cleveland, New York Giants, New England at number 4, Jacksonville, because New England went from, if they would have lost that game, they would have been the number 1 overall pick, but they won last night. Jacksonville comes in at number 5. Vegas, the New York Jets come in at number 7, followed by Carolina, New Orleans Saints, and the Chicago Bears. Cowboys will be drafting at number 12 behind the San Francisco 49ers with their 7-10 record.
Hard job. I'm glad that we lost the game. I know that you when the Washington Commanders scored, you knew that I was the happiest guy in Austin.
You weren't the happiest one because I had McLaurin as a parlay. So if my parlay hit,
I thought that was your cut. Anyway,
yeah, that's a different person.
That's a different.
Yeah.
I was very happy at the fact that they should have done this like 2 weeks ago, and they should have played Trey Lance 2 weeks ago, trying to get him reps to be trade bait in one game. That's not a big enough sample size for me to say, yeah, I'll give you my 3rd round pick for him.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. What they're going to get is a 4th or 5th round pick for him, and that may help you for next year or the 2 years from now. But that pick is not going to pay dividends. The Cowboys do a really good job, actually, of
drafting.
They draft well every year.
Yeah.
But it usually takes those guys like 2 or 3 years to activate, and they need right now. This is the time that the Cowboys need right now.
Well, you start to look at this, and Cooper Rush, who had a $500,000 incentive for playing at least 55% of the snaps this season, and Jerry Jones decided to start Trey Lance. Should have did this like you said, 4 weeks ago. This should have happened 4 weeks ago, and now you just literally messed up Cooper Rush, who has been loyal to you.
You really wanted to say screw you out of $500,000.
Yeah.
All they had to do was play him one half.
Yeah, just play the first half, and he would have
played the first half. He gets this money. He earned that.
Yep. He's done a lot for the Cowboys. And I'm not a big Cooper Rush fan, but I do know what it's like when you're got incentives in front of you and you
don't get the opportunity.
And for somebody that makes $2.5 million, that's a lot of money over $500,000.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because then you look at what Geno Smith was able to do. You look at what Mike Evans was able to do, and we'll talk about that in just a minute when we get back, because I want to talk about some of these incentives. I want to talk about the playoffs, as the playoffs will start this Saturday with the Houston Texans hosting, but we will end up talking about that when we get back right here on a Black Monday, Longhorn Monday edition of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The voice of the Horns. Craig Way on 1300 The Zone. Weekdays at 2.
The music we listen to all year long. The anthems that were our soundtrack for 2024. They not like us. And the stars who made the songs we love will all be celebrated.
Let's get it started.
March 17, live from Los Angeles, coming back to Fox.
Be here as our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards nominees are announced Thursday at 8 a.m.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hug 'em.
We still have that disabled vehicle blocking the right lane on US 290 eastbound and Highway 71, about a 2-minute delay. Also on the I-35 frontage southbound at Yeager Lane, we do have an accident reported there. And good news, that accident did get cleared up. 183 southbound at D. Gabriel Collins Road. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
See website for details. Bill Sappin is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-646-9595 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-646-9595. 1-800-646-9595. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, price lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Bigger than ever. The Factory Mattress year-end clearance sales event. Save an additional 20% off factory direct prices on select mattresses. Plus, save over $700 on queen luxury pillow tops. Now only $588. Act now. Buy one, get one free mattresses. The Factory Mattress year-end clearance event. Save up to $500 off Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets. It's the year-end clearance event. Going on now at Factory Mattress.
Back to Harge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Mike Harbaugh, Harge, world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, the Mark Henry, and of course we got our guy Khalil holding it down. In the next segment, you will hear from the world's strongest man as he brings you his world's strongest take. But I want to get into this conversation because this was one of those weekends that we've talked about. We're going to get into the playoffs, and I'll let you know where each team is playing. But these incentives in these contracts mean a lot to a lot of people. You and I had the conversation last week about, right before the weekend started, we talked about certain players getting certain numbers to be able to get big contracts. One of those guys was Geno Smith. Yeah. Geno Smith was able to go out and capture that $6 million bonus because he had $2 million escalators if he played and had 10 wins, led in passing yards and a completion percentage, and he got $6 million. Let's not forget, 5 years ago, Geno was released and signed as a backup. 2 years later, he was a Pro Bowler and the comeback player of the year. And now he just hit on his big-time contract. So you start to look around and you look at what Micah Parsons was able to do yesterday, getting to 12-plus sacks He's the first player in NFL history, second player in NFL history to do it in his first full season, first 4 seasons in the NFL. It's only he and Reggie White. That's it. Think about those people that are on that list. We talked a little bit about the Cooper Rush situation and what was happening, but I love the fact that they put Mike Evans back into the game. At the end of the game, ran one play, got him the ball so he can get his incentives on his contract and got the $3 million. And my man said, they asked him what he was going to be doing. He said, we'll probably go chill at the casino with my family and just kick it. And they were like, well, you just told everybody where you're going to be. He said, where I'm going, these people can't get to. So, so with that $3 million, he got some extra spots that he knows how to get to. So it's going to be there's more. We'll continue those conversations throughout the week. But I want to get into the conversation of the wild card this weekend. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot of Texas and Ohio State. We're going to talk Penn State, Notre Dame. But the NFL schedule has been released, and the Houston Texans will host the Los Angeles Chargers. That'll be Saturday at 3:30. The night game is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. That will be on Amazon Prime. The first game on Saturday will be on CBS. That Steelers and Ravens game will be at 7 o'clock on Amazon Prime. Then on Sunday, you have the Broncos at the Buffalo Bills. You have Green Bay at Philadelphia. And you have the nightcap of Washington at Tampa Bay. And then Monday Night Football, you have the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams.
Wow. But you know, as awesome as that lineup is, I think last night was really the first true playoff game.
Well, you had two teams playing for the division.
They were playing for something.
Yeah.
And it had never been done. Never?
Yeah.
When do you get to see something that never? And I thought it was going to be a close game. I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting here to tell you, I thought it was going to be a close game.
It should have been a close game. If they could close on a couple passes in the end zone, the game is close. But Sam Darnold, let me rephrase that. That defense for Detroit was not giving up anything.
They was on fire last night.
They played tough, and even if they're put in bad positions.
You know, I almost hit you with the ifs and buts was candy and nuts.
Agreed. Well, I had the Lions last night, so I was golden.
You was golden.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, when you watch these teams and you see the intensity of which they play, the Detroit Lions, think about the Detroit Lions, man. This is a team that what we talked about just a little while ago, hired Dan Campbell and was the laughingstock because he was a musclehead. Everybody was like, "Oh man, look at this guy! Oh,
he talking about
breaking
kneecaps and eating people."
Yeah, it's like now all of a sudden he's the darling of the NFL. He's the guy, and the Detroit Lions are a team that everybody wants to watch play because they're entertaining. They are very entertaining.
Hard, you know, if it's fourth down,
they going for it.
And less than 4,
yeah,
they going for it.
They are going for it. And so when you look at how this is going to play out, and I just went through the list, who are your – I mean, I'm going to let you – I don't even remember who we picked for the Super Bowl. I think we had Detroit.
We had Detroit
and
Kansas City.
Yeah. Are you still feeling that strong about your pick?
After last night, yes. And the only reason that Kansas City took a historical, biblical whooping is because they sat people.
Yeah.
And actually, even in a loss, even in a blowout loss, there were guys that played on that team that I thought it was great for them to get reps because I think that they're going to be needed in this playoff run. So, I mean, it worked out. You know, a lot of times if you're the second, third, fourth guy, you don't get reps.
Right.
And then when the playoffs start and the starting wide receiver or the starting offensive tackle goes down and you're standing there and they go, "Hey, Henry, get in there."
Right.
You know, I threw myself in.
Of course. I wasn't worried about that. Go ahead.
Khalil, get in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't have no reps. How you expect that person to thrive under that pressure? So I thought it was good that they got reps.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking at all of these teams, and the depth is a serious conversation, right? Like, depth is so important in the playoffs. Look at what Detroit was able to do when they lost some of their best players.
One of their best running backs.
And they went and reloaded. But Jahmyr Gibbs could have been a starting runner. If he would have been anywhere else, he would have been getting all the reps.
Right.
Sonic the Hedgehog was running yesterday. I mean, he was getting it.
Every time that he got hit, I could hear the sound of when, you get hit a spike and all the coins, all the rings.
Yeah.
Like, it was, man, that dude is explosive and exciting to watch.
Yep.
And having a gimmick like Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty damn cool too. With the movie that just came out and is in the top 10 charts of movies in Rotten Tomatoes right now. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, you just go straight there, huh?
You don't like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, I do. But
you don't look at the top 10 movies?
No, I don't.
You don't care?
I do not. Do not.
We got to diversify your interests, sir.
No, if I like a movie, I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes says. Like, Rotten Tomatoes said that's all 2 stars. I'm like, I don't care. I liked it. So,
well, I said it was at the top though.
Yeah,
it didn't get a lot of bad vibes.
No, I like Sonic, but we talking about what was happening with the Lions and what they've been able to do. So, if you had to pick a team in the AFC, are you still going with Kansas City?
I'm still going with Kansas City until they get beaten.
I agree.
And until Patrick Mahomes regresses or has a mental breakdown, I'm going with Kansas City.
But I'm looking at Baltimore now. The way that they're moving, Lamar Jackson, I still believe Lamar Jackson should be the MVP. I said it right now.
Should.
I said he should be. I know everybody is jocking Josh Allen, and kudos to him.
It would be a travesty for them to do that to Josh Allen.
What do you mean, a travesty to do what?
Give him the MVP this year, because the statistics, they're going to put an asterisk by it. All of the players in the NFL are going to rain down on the NFL like Sodom and Gomorrah. They are not going to have it. You cannot. It's a hard. It's borderline something that could cause a rift in the NFL. They don't want that smoke.
Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you this, but it's voted upon. It's not everybody else. So I believe that he's going to be the MVP. We'll continue these conversations. But coming up next, y'all know what time it is. When you hear that music drop, it can only mean one thing. You guessed it. The world's strongest man bringing you the world's strongest tech right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hook
We have
up.
a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane, 290 eastbound at Highway 71, setting you back only about a minute. We also have an accident on the frontage road, 35 southbound at Yeager Lane. Accident did clear out, though, 183 southbound at D. Gabriel Collins Road. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
With your busy schedule, there's no way you have time for all those complicated fantasy lineups. But there is time to win up to 2,000 times your money on Better Picks. With Better Picks, you can jump in fast and pick more or less on your favorite player's stats for a chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash, all in the time it takes to listen to this commercial.
Pick, tap, and win. That's it. Others might stop at 100 times payouts, but with Better Picks, your winnings can soar up to 2,000 times payouts. Turn that $10 bill in your glove box into $20,000 right now. That's real excitement.
So don't forget, if it's game day, it's a Better Picks day. Crank up the excitement with Better Picks and play for huge cash payouts. Go to betterpicks.com, BETRpicks.com, or download Better on the app or Play Store and use promo code RADIO to play for up to 2,000 times your cash. Plus, new users get up to a $200 match on their first deposit. It's simply better with Better Picks.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
The Home Depot's new supply house is built for one job, to deliver yours. No cart, all flatbed. And more than a store, our supply house comes to you. Get the whole job delivered as soon as next day from the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Hey, Texas, I want to talk about the wonderful folks over at Covert Chevy in Hutto. At Covert Chevy in Hutto, they have the specials you are looking for. How about a 2024 Silverado 1500 for $15,000 off of MSRP, or a 2024 Chevy Tahoe for $8,000 off of MSRP with no payments for 120 days. See dealer for details. The Coverts have been doing business since 1909, and they love being a part of the communities that they serve. Head on over to CovertChevyHutto.com or swing by 1200 US 79 in Hutto, Texas. Covert Chevy in Hutto, where tradition meets the open road. Together, let's drive.
New year, new you. But wait, you got to have money skills to crush those new audacious goals you just made. The How to Money podcast is just what you need if you're feeling weighed down by debt or need some financial advice and inspiration.
That's right. We're best buds, and our show is all about giving you the information you need to succeed. For money advice without the judgment and jargon, listen to How to Money on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search How to Money and start listening.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin area weather, a cold weather advisory for your Monday morning. Sunny skies, a high of 48. Clear skies tonight and very cold, a low in the upper 20s. Tuesday, sunny skies with highs near 50 with a low of freezing.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Get great savings on family favorites throughout the store at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs for only $1.97 per pound. Plus, 16-count freshly baked cookies in the bakery. Or buy one package, get one free.
Our new and improved iHeartRadio app has made it even easier to enjoy the radio stations, podcasts, and playlists you love. How? Well, we've added everything you love about your car radio into the free iHeartRadio app. With easy-to-use presets, you can now save your favorite stations on the app, just like in your car. And with the all-new live radio dial, it's easier than ever to discover new stations you'll love based on your location or favorite genre. Find out what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio! Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. We cover all 40 acres.
Well, you know what happens when that beat drops. It can only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, brings you the world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
Art,
What's up, man?
you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the world's strongest take. Khalil, back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. See, speaking of being on me, it's been on my heart to show Deion Sanders a lot of praise for being a great father to his sons, to being a mentor to guys that are not his sons, but he treat them like it. For standing up and doing the right things when sometimes doing the right thing is not popular. But a lot of flack is coming Deion Sanders' way right now because he basically made the comment before the season even started that there's teams in the NFL that my sons will not play for. The organizations don't value winning. They don't value protecting investments. And he will not allow his son to play for one of those teams. And guess what? The team that's number one, that has the number one overall pick, the Tennessee Titans, is one of those teams that he does not want his son to play for. And I look at Shadur as being a guy that could actually thrive with a team that he can take ownership of and be the face of that team. But his father feels like many other fathers. And I'm going to name a few of them. How about Eli Manning? Eli Manning, they're like, you are not playing for the Chargers. They suck. They don't value creating a proper environment for the quarterback. We'll just sit out and go in the draft next year. Then you had John Elway, same thing. Came out of Stanford. Father said, no, my son's not playing there. He'll go play baseball. John Elway was a great baseball player and had the potential. He was to be drafted by anybody. I think he did get drafted.
Yankees.
By the Yankees real high. And he was going to just do that. Bo Jackson, Jim Kelly, Ernie Davis, Rich Gannon, Bruce Clark for racial reasons. They were the only team that actually not integrated. So during that time, he was like, I'm not going to be the first. They don't want me there. I'm not going.
Right.
My question to you is, in this modern age, it's not what it was back then. It wasn't the same as what happened with Bo Jackson or Rich Gannon or even Elway going to teams that they didn't value the player. Everybody was a piece of meat to them. I don't feel like Tennessee would do that. But Deion is like, my son is going to a major market where they respect football, the fan bases respect football, and he listed a few teams: the Giants, the Jets, the Raiders, the Cowboys, and that's a short list. But guess who has a pick in the top? The Raiders. What say you about Shadur not going to Tennessee if they have the overall first pick and they want him and he says no? I agree with Deion.
So my question to Deion and everybody that is looking at that, what makes the Raiders better than Tennessee? The Raiders are a mess as well. Yeah, they got a new stadium. They're in the limelight over there in Las Vegas, but is it for the glitz and the glamour? Is that what it's for? Tennessee, they've had success at quarterback before. They've had some really good quarterbacks there. Cleveland, it looks like they're going to end up keeping Deshaun Watson. So are you going to draft Shador to go there? Probably not. New York Giants. That's a place that needs a quarterback. Giants are a good place for him, but what makes them better than Tennessee? Nothing. I don't see them as a better organization. They've had problems. You just let Saquon Barkley walk out the door. And now he is in an MVP conversation. I'm just curious to what is the proper place for Shador Sanders. He was in Colorado. He got sacked a lot. You're not going to have – this is a different thing. This is the NFL is totally different. And to your point, it's a totally different time. Now, as a parent, I respect it. I respect the fact that you want to kind of
put your son in a good place.
But where is the good place? Where is the best place? Because if it's a good place, that means that they've already got their quarterback.
And the Raiders and the Jets, two of those teams, they don't pick the 6 and 7.
That's why I'm like,
the only one that
you're
potentially
losing money as you go down too, by the way.
Yeah, and potentially New York is the only one that's up there in the top 3. So if New York, I feel like New York, New York already said that they love Travis Hunter.
Yeah, this
and if he's there, if they're getting him.
Well, we will see how this all plays out. This is the time where all the stories start to happen. But one story that will continue is this. But when we come, we're going to close out the show. Send you to Dan Patrick right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300 is on.
Craig Way Show with Craig Way. Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to every University of Texas football game on 98.1 KVAT. Hug 'em.
We have a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane, 290 eastbound at Highway 71, setting you back only about a minute. We also have an accident on the frontage road, 35 southbound at Yeager Lane. Accident did clear out, though, 183 southbound at D. Gabriel Collins Road. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, tells us about the advantages the speed of audio production affords their growing tech company.
At Moderna, we have a mindset saying that we pivot fearlessly. And I think with audio, you can pivot fearlessly. You can go where the news is and bringing in content that perhaps you didn't have a few weeks earlier. It's less 6 months in advance or 3 months in advance when you do a TVC. You're able to create really nimble content, which I think in this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local, every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
What if you could unlock over $1 million in personal and business credit? That's exactly what Ray Reynolds can do for you. I'm talking about protecting your family and building your business with $100,000 in personal or business cash credit. And Ray can help you rebuild your credit score to 750. Ray Reynolds isn't just any expert. He helped the security chief of TRW that became Experian, one of the most trusted credit bureaus. If you're looking to get your finances on track, Ray is the man you should call for a 750 credit score. Call Ray at 800-427-5991. 800-427-5991. Join his live webinars and attend his weekly workshops to learn the insider strategies for hitting your personal and business goals. Ready for a 750 credit score and your first $100,000 in credit? Call Ray Reynolds now at 800-427-5991. That's 800-427-5991.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Fire up your DVR. It's time for your TV tip-off.
Monday night the 13th, a 22-year-old living with autism is the focus of the docudrama Balin Out Loud at 9/8 Central on TLC. On Wednesday the 15th, based on the popular podcast, Lacey Mosley helps bust would-be con artists in the unscripted show Scam Goddess at 10/9 Central on Freeform. Friday the 17th, Eleanor Tomlinson and Alfred Enoch star in the British psychological thriller The Couple Next Door, making its U.S. debut at 9/8 Central on Starz. Also on Friday the 17th, the docuseries NFL Icons kicks off its 4th season at 10/9 Central on MGM+. Sunday night the 17th, after a 2-year delay and a new network, the historical war drama Rogue Heroes continues its 2nd season at 9/8 Central on MGM+. I'm Lex Hohen, and that's your TV tip-off on iHeartRadio.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Our blood runs orange.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. As always, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you get over to the podcast page and find out all the stuff that you might have missed throughout this show and, of course, some of our past episodes. We're going to continue to push the envelope as we get ready for the Texas Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes this Friday at 6:30 kickoff, where you can listen to Longhorn Game Day as we prepare you for the game this Friday. It will start at 3:30. We will be at Boomer Jacks. Continue to listen all week. We're right around the corner at Boomer Jacks. You can come and watch the show, come and hang out, and then get a shuttle over to the stadium or even drive your car over there. But most importantly, everybody needs to be in attendance. Coach Sark told you he wants everybody to show up and show out because he needs Longhorn Nation out there. But NFL season's over. College football is getting closer and closer to coming to an end. And the FCS championship tonight, the North Dakota State Bisons will take on the Montana State Bobcats tonight in Frisco for the national championship game. North Dakota State comes in 13-2. Montana State 15-0. I know my man Danny Davis is a Montana Grizzly, so he's probably rooting for North Dakota State right now. But these are some of those teams that you find out that these guys are pretty doggone good. They're just not at that the major D1, the Power Fives. These are those schools that have been doing this for years. North Dakota State. Trey Lance went there. His brother is a wide receiver there. He's got 16 touchdowns as a wide receiver for North Dakota State. You look at what Montana State has been able to do. This is going to be one of those games that will probably come down to the end because this is a 3-point game, as both of these teams are pretty talented.
Both of these teams are really talented, and they've been talented for a long time. And I feel like for a half, they may be able to hang with any team in the country. But when depth starts to take a hold, then that's when you have a problem.
Yeah.
But there's talented guys. There's guys that get drafted into the NFL from those teams every year.
Yeah, most of them come out of quarterback position. You're a first-round pick a lot of times, but then you get those guys that are in that middle round that end up playing for a long time and making big plays on big teams and being difference makers. This is why I've always said that when people talk about college football and the new model that they've had, this has been going on forever. The FCS level has been going on forever like this. And that is why it's not alarming to me. It's just really disappointing when people are like, "Oh man, I don't know if this is going to work." And I'm like, "What do you mean? They've been doing it for years." North Dakota State, where Chris Kleiman, the head coach from Kansas State, that's where he came from.
Yeah.
And he's built a program that year in and year out, they're competing for national championships. As I've said, Montana State is 15-0. 15-0. That
didn't happen by accident.
They've been playing like this for a long time. So when you look at teams just like now, we're deep into the season. They've been doing this forever, man.
And you know what? One thing about that league is you don't have to worry about a lot of those guys just saying, I'm not going to play in the bowl game.
Exactly.
They truly are playing for the love of the sport, and they realize that they don't have the graces that the top 5, top 10 teams in the FCS are.
Yeah, they're getting after it. Because here's the deal. You talked about it earlier. Colorado, North Dakota State played Colorado at the very beginning of the year. They lost 31-26.
See?
They lost 31-26.
Yeah.
In that game with all those superstars that Colorado had. For Montana State, they played New Mexico, and they beat New Mexico at the very beginning of the year, 35-31. So they have played teams along the way for this 15-0 record that you sit there and you're like, man, this is impressive when you sit back and watch these types of teams as they get better and better each step of the way. When you start looking at some of the playoff teams, it is interesting. And I know they defeated Montana 34-11. And Montana is a perennial team that is playing for national championships as well. Another thing I want to talk to you about, Mark, is this week we're going to get back into the NBA because there's a lot of scuttle about everything in the NBA. You and I talked on Friday about Jimmy Butler and his situation. It's gotten worse. They suspended him now.
Right.
They don't even want you
near
the team.
Well, he talks too much.
That's my point. It's like, listen, Pat Riley did not pay Dwayne Wade. Think about that. He's got his number retired. He got a statue out front.
Ugly statue.
They did, true that, but they did not pay him. So what makes Jimmy Butler thinks that he's above Wade County?
I have no clue. But if you feel that way, just say it. And then sit down. You know what, guys? My back is really ailing me.
Did you see some of the highlights of the game that he played the other day? Where he was just throwing shots up with one leg. He wasn't even his effort. Terrible passes, throwing the ball out of bounds. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It was awful. But I want to get into the NBA this week because there's a lot of teams that we don't have on our list of teams to follow, but I think we need to start putting them on there. One of those teams is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are 31-4 in the NBA.
Yeah.
31-4. Oklahoma City is 30-5. Like, it is amazing to me that these teams are playing that well.
And nobody's talking about it.
Nobody's talking about them, but they do play on Wednesday night. Those two teams will play on Wednesday night. So it will be an exciting basketball game, an exciting basketball season in the NBA. The Spurs, they've had some good matchups here lately. They're only 18-17. The Mavs are 20-5, and the Houston Rockets are still trying to be that team. They're 23-12, another team that nobody's talking about because they are playing together. I told you before, Ime Udoka, one hell of a basketball coach.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get the respect because of what happened in Boston. That team that's in Boston that won a championship, that was his team.
He put that team together.
He put that together.
He hired the coach.
He hired the coach, and that's right. And that is why it is that time of the season where football is kind of winding down. We're still going to have our playoffs, but now there's no Monday night football. There's no Thursday night footballs except for college, and that's Notre Dame and Penn State. We'll break that down tomorrow. We'll also continue the conversations about the Texas Longhorns and Ohio State as these two teams, helmet teams. Think about those helmets too. The Buckeyes with all those little patches on, not patches, but the stickers on the helmet.
Yeah, the Buckeye stickers.
Penn State, historically solid football team. University of Texas, we talk about them all the time. And then you also look at Notre Dame, the gold helmet. This is what it's all about, and it's almost time for the nitty-gritty.
Man, I'm excited.
I want to thank Mark Henry. I want to thank Khalil, but most importantly, I want to thank you, the people. And as always, don't believe everything you see because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.